Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus. Cars Plus Finish Line Express is now open at Cars Plus in Mighty. The state-of-the-art car wash is now open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. Caught on camera, a burglar is captured inside a Deadedo store taking thousands worth of phone cards and cigarettes.
Crime on Guam is still on the rise. With the limited, or should I say lack of manpower, Chairman of Public Safety believes it's time for the governor to declare a state of emergency for GPD and DOC. I'm Julian Hernandez with a report on the chairman's proposal to stop crime on Guam.
Calls for help. My name is Tomas Manglonia on Saipan. I speak with members of the Turkish community seeking relief after an earthquake struck Turkey and Syria, now killing more than 40,000 people.
Happening, good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thanks for being with us on this hump day. Criminals are still at it, breaking into businesses and stealing whatever is in their path.
Just yesterday, we brought you the eyewitness accounts of an armed robbery in Manilao. Tonight, our eye on crime takes us to Deadedo, where an early morning burglary is caught on camera. The security alarm is activated. An early morning burglary at a store in Deadedo. Surveillance video capturing the moment a man breaks into the iMart on NCS Road. The burglary happening just after 4:30 this Wednesday morning. The suspect seen from the camera angle set up behind the counter. Footage giving authorities a clear image of his face. The store's owner asking the community for help if you recognize this man. About 2 minutes into his crime, he rummages through the drawers and the register. Cash and coins spill out onto the ground as he continues to search for other items to steal. The theft happening all in about 5 minutes. The security footage also showing the moment the burglar squeezes his way in through a window. The store owner even finding this screwdriver and bolt cutter, believed used in the break-in, that the thief apparently left behind. The owner telling KUAM fortunately his alarm system alerted him in time to call police. But by then, this burglar was already gone, taking off with more than $3,000 worth of phone cards and 1,200 in cigarettes. If you can help authorities to identify this man, you are asked to call Guam Police or report it to Guam Crime Stoppers.
A Valentine's evening armed robbery again hitting the village of Manilao. Police say a gunman walked into OS 7 Mart just before 7 p.m. yesterday and demanded money. The masked robber took off with $1,200 in cash. He fled in a dark-colored sedan. The suspect described as being 5'7" with a slender build and last seen wearing a gray hoodie. Authorities are asking the public for help. This marks at least the 8th armed robbery reported between Manilao and Jotnia in the past 2 weeks.
Well, an attempted carjacking in Deadedo on Valentine's Day leaves a woman injured. 2 teenagers have been arrested for the assault. 17-year-old Melvin Ubunjan and 18-year-old Mason Aunu. Police say the woman was opening her car, the gate to her parked car. She turned around to see a young man sitting in her car and another trying to open the door. She was punched in the face as she tried to stop them and fell back and hit her head on the concrete. She screamed and her son came out and chased the 2 suspects. He tackled one to the ground. The other fled into the jungle. Police showed up and arrested Ubunjan, and a bystander later identified the other suspect as Aunu, who is Ubunjan's best friend. Upon further questioning by police, Ubunjan said Aunu needed the car to visit his girlfriend. The pair charged with robbery, attempted theft of a motor vehicle, and aggravated assault.
In other police news, 19-year-old Joshua Kiambo was charged with soliciting to exchange dirty pictures with a 17-year-old girl. A complaint says the girl told police that after dating Kiambo for a while, they would exchange photos on Instagram, and he would insist she send him pictures of her breasts. The girl said she sent him the photos because he wouldn't stop. She also alleged that Kiambo sent her pictures of his private parts. The complaint says a family member of the 17-year-old deleted the pictures but confirmed that she saw them. Kiambo is charged with electronic enticement of a child, attempted possession of child pornography, and indecent electronic display to a child. A rare show of unity among elected officials as they hash out long-standing issues in the community.
Guam Attorney General making a visit to the village mayors during a special monthly meeting earlier today. Mitsuki Hirayama reports.
Our executive director.
Homeless encampments, panhandlers at the intersections, abandoned vehicles on the side of the roads, stray dogs, and substance abuse. These problems are nothing new, so why hasn't more been done to clean up? Guam Attorney General Douglas Moylan going straight to the village mayors to hash out these long-standing issues during a council meeting today.
In my office, I'll be putting together certain teams to address these type of issues for the mayors. So and by the way, this contacting, you are an elected official, I'm an elected official, you contact me directly.
The mayor is noting it's the first time a sitting AG is appearing before the Mayor's Council of Guam. But the discussions during the special meeting proving the visit was much needed.
Guam is enduring an immigration problem right now. The immigrants are having a problem because they're not following our laws, obviously. But I see that alcohol abuse, and now we've got meth, because it's gone so low on the price.
The hour-long talk including issues such as the drop in the price of meth to the increase in immigrants, public intoxication, and a growing public presence of homeless encampments.
What we notice is that they're getting together, they're drinking, and then causing trouble. You see it in the newspaper, the skate park incident, stuff like that. There's always alcohol or drugs associated. But the humanity of it too, the idea that why are these homeless encampments starting on Guam?
It's complex issues these elected officials are tasked to fix, but can't do alone, according to Deadedo Mayor Melissa Savares.
When we do call, like the park rangers or GPD, they look at us and they say, well, what do you want us to do with them? And so, of course, public intoxication is one. We also have signs in our government buildings because the police had told us in the past that if we literally say, our signs say no sleeping, no loitering, no camping, they cannot stay overnight. They need to go home. And but some of them don't have homes to go to. And that causes another problem.
The AG says efforts are underway between the governor's office, Guam Police, behavioral health, and other agencies to get things under control. Meantime, he reminds village mayors of their authority and responsibility as peace officers.
Because you guys are law enforcement. You're the front line, literally the front line, along with the police department.
The AG also brought up issues with school violence and more crime being committed by our youth. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
With criminal activity on the rise, the Legislative Committee on Public Safety believes the governor should declare a state of emergency for the Guam Police Department and Department of Corrections.
KUAM's Julian Hernandez has the story.
It's no secret. There are just not enough officers, the Guam Police Department and the Department of Corrections to tackle the increase in crime reported on island.
I think it is an emergency.
Public Safety Chair Senator Chris Barnett saying you can ask the police chief and the prison director for yourself.
They're singing the same song. They need help. They need help recruiting new officers. They need help retaining officers that they already have. So yeah, I think it's an emergency.
Vice Chair Senator Chris Duenas echoing the concern that Guam's drug problem outweighs what authorities can handle.
So I think from all perspectives, it's very difficult for anyone to say that public safety is not in a state of emergency. And I think the biggest reason why is not just because of the manpower, but the severe methamphetamine epidemic.
Senator Barnett has since written to the Department of Administrations about the manpower woes. He specifically points out that DOC went over budget by 80 grand, in part due to overtime, adding the prison just didn't have the money to process new hires.
And so again, I think we just need to take the politics off this. The election's over, the campaigns are over. I believe that committee in this legislature is dedicated and committed again to see these issues through. But it's all hands on deck.
But public safety, when it gets behind like this, it really starts to snowball. And so the major issue is, are we setting an alarm? Well, maybe. But what we're really trying to do is say, in order to focus on this, you need to be able to have this power to marshal the resources and say it's a true priority.
Department Corrections Director Bob Camacho says, while recruiting is a struggle, he is aware staffing problems also exist at DOA.
We're doing our best, to work the system to ensure that we get as many people as possible to apply and have a better understanding. Yeah. If we could have more personnel, maybe 2 people assigned to each department and process those applications much quicker. I think that would solve the thing. Because even we have state of emergency, what would that encompass, right?
As for the senator's call for that emergency, the governor's office has yet to respond. Julianne Hernandez, KUAM News.
Thanks, Julianne. Well, national media are reporting that the Chinese spy balloon was traveling over Guam a week before it may have unintentionally drifted over the U.S. mainland. Unidentified U.S. officials telling the Washington Post that the balloon took an unexpected northern turn, and there's a possibility that China didn't intend to penetrate the American heartland. But does that mean U.S. military bases on Guam were its intended surveillance target? Governor Leon Guerrero testifying at the Senate oversight hearing last week that she was briefed on the balloon as it was passing over. However, Adelup has yet to respond to our questions on who and when the governor was advised. According to the Post report, the balloon eventually floated over Alaska and Aleutian Islands, then drifted over Canada, where strong winds appear to have been pushed it over the U.S. mainland. It was later shot down off the South Carolina coast. The incident has raised tensions as the U.S. has accused China of spying over sovereign airspace. An already looming issue is further complicated over the Guam Visitors Bureau. The backlash continues since the last-minute cancellation of Friday's oversight hearing.
GVB leadership moving forward with efforts to address any potential conflicts that may come up. Tonight, one Democratic senator comes to the defense of the oversight chair, Senator Amanda Shelton, after Republicans took turns publicly throwing jabs.
Guam Visitors Bureau Legislative Oversight Chair Senator Amanda Shelton staying silent. It's been 5 days since she called to cancel the GVB hearing at the last minute.
Amanda Shelton did nothing wrong. She was, exercising her powers as oversight chair as she saw fit. And I just want to say, they talk about the conflicts of interest that may or may not be there with Senator Shelton.
Freshman Senator William Parkinson coming to Shelton's defense during an interview today with KUAM. The sign behind him spelling out his argument.
She was elected as GVB chair by an overwhelming unanimous vote by the Republican Party. So I find it just really distasteful on their part for them to put this conflict of interest on her and then bash her for a conflict of interest that they themselves put on her.
At Friday's oversight hearing that never happened, their Republican colleagues shared frustration, taking aim at Shelton's 11th hour notice to call off the oversight. Senator Tello Taidugui captured on video accusing her colleague of an apparent conflict of interest, protecting a family member.
Senator Shelton wants to play a game like this, then let's expose her for what she really is, protecting her uncle at GVB. Well, I'll say that part.
Do you agree with Senator Tello Taidugui about Shelton and her apparent conflicts?
I'd rather not speak to that issue because that's her opinion, and I would rather not weigh in on that opinion.
GVB Vice President Jerry Perez not taking sides. He says the Bureau is focused on finalizing the proposed bylaws to address conflict issues.
The documentation that is being pulled together for our next membership meeting and other materials related to directorships will have conflict of interest issues addressed.
It's one issue that has kept the GVB leadership and its board of directors from meeting over the past year. Senator Shelton is not yet coming forward to tell her side. This after repeated calls, emails, and even a visit KUAM made to her office this week.
Shelton only issued a release whenever the oversight hearing was canceled, stating attendance from key people was low. Perez is leaving it up to Shelton to set a new time and date. Still, he admits this issue over the canceled oversight is overshadowing the progress he says GVB is making with tourism recovery.
We're going to take a quick break, but we've got more news on the other side.
Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
The wait is over, Guam. The all-new state-of-the-art car wash is now open at Cars Plus. Introducing Finish Line Express, open 7 days a week. The all-new cashless drive-through car wash is also the largest car wash on island that can accommodate vehicles such as lifted Jeeps and full-size pickup trucks. Just roll up, pick a wash, insert credit card, or show your EverWash app and roll through. Plus, power vacuums are available to clean the interior. Show your vehicle some love today at the all-new car wash at Cars Plus in Mighty. Open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week.
Only Pizza Hut lets you surround your favorite pizza with greatness. The one and only stuffed crust pizza tempts your taste buds with melted cheese stuffed inside that amazing crust. And at just $18.99 with one topping, the stuffed crust pizza is truly irresistible. So grab your slice of pizza perfection with cheesy goodness baked right into the crust. The stuffed crust pizza, just $18.99 with one topping. Only at Pizza Hut, the island's best.
Welcome back to Primetime.
Well, we first told you about Guam delegate James Moylan's first congressional delegation to Guam. Here's a look at who is here with him during a meeting held at the Dusutani in Tomb on Tuesday. Texas Representative John Carter among those visiting. GVB Vice President Jerry Perez is also seen in the photo.
Jim Moylan, of course, did a good job bringing these guys to Guam, because reading about Guam is one thing. Actually visiting Guam and understanding our requirements on recapitalizing military assets here because of our strategic positioning in Asia was very good to see.
Delegate Moylan told KUAM the visit is brief, so no time to meet with the governor's office.
The Turkish community on Saipan calling for help after a massive earthquake struck Turkey and Syria.
The alarming death toll rises over 40,000 as rescuers still search through the rubble. Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotny reports.
The 7.8 magnitude earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria, claiming more than 40,000 lives.
We have lost our friends. There are some of our relatives who are also helpful and receive treatment.
Ali and Muharrem from Turkey speaking to KUAM through Google Translate, hoping someone will hear their call for help. They're both construction workers, part of a group of 8 from Turkey who came to the island 3 years ago to work on the now abandoned casino. They're hoping the local community can help rebuild their home country, as some of their friends and relatives now live in tents.
Tabii ki haberleri izlediğimizde üzülüyoruz, bazen izlemiyoruz bile çok üzüldüğümüz için.
Of course, we feel sad when we watch the news. Sometimes we don't even watch it because we are so sad.
Allah vermesin, Türkiye şu anda çok bir zor durum yaşıyor. 11 ilde deprem oldu ve bir de Türkiye'de şu anda kış mevsimi eksinin altında soğuk bir derecede yani.
God forbid, Turkey is going through a very difficult situation right now. There are earthquakes in 11 provinces, and the winter season in Turkey is at a cold temperature.
National media reporting that rescuers say voices are still being heard under the rubble. For now, they're raising funds to send to a charity based in Turkey. Ali says those who want to help can WhatsApp him at 670-285-2927.
Buradan eşya alıp göndermeye kalksan kargosu çok para tutuyor. Türkiye'de giyim, yiyecek daha ucuz olduğu için para göndermek daha uygun oluyor.
If I try to buy and send goods from here, the cargo costs a lot of money. Since clothing and food are cheaper in Turkey, it is more convenient to send money. Our association takes them and delivers them on site according to the needs of the earthquake victims there.
Local legislators made personal donations of their own already and are hoping to help set up a meeting between Ali and Acting Governor David Apatang.
We are trying to help them as much as we can help them.
Tomas Maglonia, KUAM News.
The 21st Micronesian President's Summit wrapped up in the Federated States of Micronesia. FSM President David W. Puniello was joined by the heads of Kiribati, Palau, Nauru, and Marshall Islands. Their discussions included impacts of climate change and the importance of Micronesian unity in the Pacific Island Forum. Rear Admiral Benjamin Nicholson, commander of Joint Region Marianas, attended to brief leaders on security in the region, including unregulated fishing activities. Meanwhile, national media reports that the leaders say they expect a visit by U.S. President Joe Biden in the near future, though no further details were provided. A potential visit comes amid rising tensions in the region and China's growing reach in some Pacific nations. The Republic of Kiribati will host the 22nd Micronesia Residents Summit.
Acting Governor of Guam, Josh Tenorio, recently meeting with local and federal law enforcement to discuss the new Mariana Islands Border Enforcement Safety Task Force that's in collaboration with the CNMI. He told KUAM the most effective law enforcement task forces are those that unify local and federal law enforcement agencies to protect our people. Mariana Islands Border Enforcement Safety Task Force will be vital in drug interdiction missions and combating threats facing our island and the Marianas, and we have committed officers to join the task force. Tenorio says officers from various Guam law enforcement agencies are embedded with federal authorities, including the FBI, Drug Enforcement Administration, U.S. Marshal Service, and U.S. Postal Task Force. The task force also comes amid illegal entries from the CNMI into Guam by Chinese nationals in search of work. Cases are ongoing in local and federal court.
United Corporate Communications responding to KUAM's report on soaring airfare costs for a round-trip ticket between Guam and Saipan, costing at least $580 that residents say is too high. United Corporate Communications says, in general, fares vary depending on many factors, such as travel demand, travel dates, seasonality, and others. United offers Guam and Northern Mariana Islands resident fares, and these fares can be accessed by updating your location on United's website, united.com, to Guam or the Northern Mariana Islands, or by visiting your local travel agency or the Guam United City Ticket Office. They say that they will continue to offer a range of fares to meet customers' demands. And now for a look at your world at home. Here's a stunning view from a cliff line on the island of Rota, showing the pristine waters near Songsong Village and the historic Japanese cannon frequented by tourists.
The weather on Thursday promising to be just as soggy as today, with thunderstorms and a 60% chance of rain.
This burger looked at one slice of melted cheese and said, more cheese. It looked at pickles and said, also onions. It wanted to be more than hot. It wanted to be juicy. This is the Quarter Pounder with cheese. If you thought one napkin for the Quarter Pounder with cheese was enough, it's not enough.
Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. If you feel it, come around with round. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you. Everybody feel it, come around with everybody in the block. Everybody in the block. Everybody in the block. Everybody in the block. Everybody in the block.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
All right, we're back for some local sports. We hit up our partners with Clutch Guam.
Here's the final score.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. Just like it's real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. I'm on my job, I get it done, but you should know that. Shine like a sun, a one-on-one, you should know that. I get the front and in the back, you should know that. No need to stun, it's never cap, you should know that. All I know, 10 toes, never fold, bang roll, on the go, ice roll, ice roll, ice roll. Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. I miss my baby, so I hit them on the FaceTime. I need it all for them, so no, I cannot waste time. Facing these oceans, feel the water on my waistline. We trust the process and I only know it takes time. You can get it, got no worries, I'm gon' make mine. Going global, I'ma get it out the state lines. Paying taxes at a more than what you make now. Different bracket, eating off a different plate now. For my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. And for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in.
Yeah, you can catch the final score every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on KUAM.
We'll be right back.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Wanna know what's next? Keep guessing. Go time, no time for questions. Throw chakra on, show off. Stepping out slow mo, you can see the glow up light. I'm supernova, you know I'm coming for ya.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Finally tonight, your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-outs.
Here are your happy birthday greetings submitted on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday going out to Erlinda Alianza. Happy birthday, Grandma. Thank you for all that you do for us. Enjoy your day and God bless. We love you to the moon and back. Coming from the Dueñas Alianza Grands. Also, happy birthday to Pearl and cheers to many more with love from your Canata family. Also, happy 34th birthday to Melanie Lynn Canata Evangelista. Cheers to many more with love from your Canata family. Also, happy 13th birthday for Megumi Tyra with love from your Canata family. Also, birthday shout out going out to Alejo Sablon, who turned 75 today. We love you from the family. And belated birthday shout outs going out to Joshi Aquino Camacho, coming from your families. Happy birthday to everyone on our Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
And that's our show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Stay safe and have a great night.
KUAM News Hotspot is brought to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Off day, I'm Nick Delgado, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Hotspot. Jason has the week off. Here's what's in our data drop.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the Fresh Garden Bar.
We check in with Tomas Menguña, who is at an ethics training for CNMI cabinet members. Later in Boca Talks, our friend Jesse Rosario from Boca Box is chatting about cutting calories. And with February being Black History Month, we kick off a 6-part series, Discover Black Heritage. And we also have our eye on entertainment headlines. But first, to local news, a 57-year-old woman is the latest COVID-19 related death. The woman was pronounced deceased at the Guam Memorial Hospital on February 12th. Officials say she had underlying health conditions, but no record of vaccination. She is the 417th COVID-related death for Guam. Health officials reported in the Joint Information Center's report a decrease in the number of people getting tested for the virus over the past week, resulting in a lower number of daily positive cases. 48 cases are in active isolation to date, and as of February 10th, a total of 141,044 people 6 months and older were fully vaccinated locally. Child advocates, including a mother who lost her son to cyberbullying and a college student who said she was addicted to social media, are calling on Congress to take action to protect kids online. The Senate Judiciary Committee listening to their testimony as it considers the first legislation to regulate social media platforms in decades. Dina Demetrius has the latest from Los Angeles.
Kristen Bride took on social media companies after her 16-year-old son Carson took his own life in June of 2020. The Oregon mother said she had no idea her son had been relentlessly cyberbullied by anonymous tormentors.
After his death, we discovered that Carson had received nearly 100 negative, harassing, sexually explicit, and humiliating messages.
Bride was unsuccessful in her lawsuit against at least 2 social media companies. She's urging Congress to take action.
We need lawmakers to step up, put politics aside, and finally protect all children online.
Kids face a variety of online dangers, including anxiety, depression, eating disorders, financial and sexual exploitation.
The predators are winning.
our children are not safe, and those who are fiercely committed to protecting them are drowning.
College student Emma Lebke told senators she became addicted to online apps in the 6th grade.
As my screen time increased, my mental and physical health suffered.
Lemke implored lawmakers to include young people in the conversation as it considers bipartisan legislation to keep kids safe online.
Unregulated social media is a weapon of mass destruction that continues to jeopardize the safety, privacy of all American youth. It's time to act.
There hasn't been any meaningful federal legislation to regulate the internet for 25 years, before most of the platforms kids use today even existed.
Like we do in the real world, we need to protect our kids in the virtual world.
So far, only 5 states, California, Utah, Colorado, Virginia, and Connecticut, have passed internet privacy laws. Dina Demetrius, CBS News.
And after the CNMI governor told Senate members the island's finances are in disarray, his newly appointed cabinet members underwent an ethics training. And here with more, joining us live from Saipan is our regional correspondent, Tomas Manglonia. Hey, Tomas.
Half a day, Nick. Good morning. It's a gloomy day here in Saipan, just as the picture was painted to the United States senators by Governor Arnold Palacios in his first trip as elected governor of the Commonwealth. We understand that the governor is back on Saipan, and we are expected to hear from him an update from his trip to D.C. In some sort of press conference in the coming few days. But before we get into the ethics training that occurred for newly appointed cabinet members, wanted to share this clip from his remarks to the nation's capital.
In fiscal disarray, an economy is still struggling from the impacts of COVID and several unprecedented typhoon disasters that preceded the pandemic. Infrastructures and systems that are woefully unprepared for the climate crisis and a shrinking population as citizens leave our islands for greener pastures. Against this backdrop of vulnerabilities are the geopolitical challenges presented by China in our islands and the region. My administration is fully committed to rebuilding relationships of trust, confidence among our citizens, our federal partners, and our allies in Micronesia and the wider Indo-Pacific area. 4 weeks ago, I was sworn in as the 10th elected governor. I entered an office that had been literally stripped bare, but far more troubling, I found the government's finances in complete disarray.
And of course, there, the governor of the CNMI, Arnold Palacios, covering some of the fiscal disaster that is the finances of the Commonwealth. We're expected to receive a revised budget any moment now from the fiscal response team that he formed. And part of his solution to addressing some of the over expenditures in the government, and this was something that was also outlined in the Unity Pledge inked with the Democrats before the runoff election last November, was an ethics training. So these images we're about to show you are from the recent ethics training conducted by the Office of the Public Auditor. They brought together newly appointed cabinet members who participated in this training, focused on Government Ethics Act. The training was facilitated by Ashley Cost of the Office of the Public Auditor. The training included discussion on prohibited political activities, gifts, complaints, and ethics violations and conflicts of interest. They tell us here also discuss were restrictions and internal policies that would supplement and improve upon government employee ethics and promote the best interests of the Commonwealth. They note that, of course, the OPA is an independent agency of the government tasked with the responsibility to audit the receipt of possession and disbursement of public funds and to perform such other duties as required by law. And Nick, of course, everyone also waiting to see if the Attorney General and Office of the Public Auditor will take action on some of the information that was discovered in the transition reports between the Torres and Palacios administration. We still have not received comment from the Attorney General, specifically with regards to what the AG or OPA today will do with the findings regarding the Boost Grant program that we've covered in the past few months. But of course, we are waiting to hear when that press conference from the governor will be, if he'll hold one, to update the community on his first trip to the nation's capital as the elected governor. And we will continue to update you on KUAM.com. For now, I'm Tomas Maglonia reporting on Saipan.
All right, Tomas, thanks as always for those regional reports and for that live report. Well, this year's Oscar nominees gathered for the annual Oscar luncheon, and a new generation of children will soon be introduced to the beloved purple dinosaur. Here's your Eye on Entertainment.
Award season continued to shine at Monday's star-studded Oscar luncheon. Tom Cruise, Bill Nye, Michelle Yeoh, Austin Butler, and Angela Bassett were among the actors in attendance. The movie Everything Everywhere All at Once leads the pack with 11 Oscar nominations, including ones for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress. The 95th Academy Awards take place March 12th in Los Angeles. Prolific Hollywood writer, director, and producer Jon Favreau got his star on the Walk of Fame Monday. Known for directing the Iron Man films, Favreau's Emmy-nominated Star Wars series The Mandalorian will release its third season March 1st.
I love you, you love me.
Longtime beloved purple dinosaur Barney is getting a reboot. Toy maker Mattel announced plans to launch a modern version of the prehistoric creature with an animated series for preschoolers and merchandise aimed at both the under-6 crowd and possibly adult fans too. The new Barney series is set to debut in 2024. And the film Plane's success has now launched a sequel, aptly titled Ship. Mike Coulter will be back as accused murderer Louis Gaspar. Ship picks up where Plane left off, with the Legionnaire disappearing into the jungles of Jolo Island. He escapes onto a ship where he discovers a human trafficking ring.
Redemption can be found in the most unusual places.
It's not certain yet if Gerard Butler will return as Captain Brody Torrance. Ship will begin filming later this year. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And stick around because coming up, Jess Rosario talking cutting calories in Boca Talks.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
KUAM News, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
Welcome back to KUAM News Hotspot. It's Wednesday, which means it's time we throw it over to Boca Box owner Jesse Rosario for this week's installment of Boca Talks. Today's topic, cutting calories.
Hafa day, everybody. Welcome back to the Boca Box. It is a hot spot. I am Jess Rosario, the nutrition professional and the owner here at the Boca Box. It is Wednesday and we're going to talk about food because it's just about lunchtime. Well, we're going to talk about an aspect of food. One of the big things that I do here is I work with a lot of my customers to kind of understand and help them understand how to eat for a healthy lifestyle. Now, health is very different for everybody, right? But a lot of the times people want to lose weight, or they need to lose weight depending on what their goals are. But no matter what, once we start thinking about losing weight, we are bombarded with a whole bunch of information from the internet, from our friends, from families about ways to do that. Now, we can get very confused on the techniques and the strategies to do this, but we always need to take a step back and start from the beginning. A lot of times people will come into the Boca box and I'll talk to them and they'll ask, okay, where do I start? You know, and I'll get some kind of gist of what their lifestyle is like, what their eating habits are like, but it always boils down to how many calories are you eating and what's the appropriate amount of calories for you to eat consistently. Well, let's take a look about that. We're going to talk about ways to cut your calories today that, you know, that have worked for me for a lot of the diets that I've been on, right? And a lot of the eating habits that I've been on. Again, remember, diets are a short-term fix to a lifelong problem. We're always going to have to think about what we're going to eat each day, where we're going to eat, the type of foods we're going to eat, and whether or not we're sticking to a healthy eating pattern or if we're not, right? So let's talk about the amount of calories that we need to eat. Now, the recommended daily allowance for Americans is around 2,000 calories. Now, that's kind of average. If you're in an office and you're, you know, just sitting down, maybe you're working out maybe 30 minutes a day, doing some light aerobic activity, you're going to need about 2,000 calories. That may seem like a lot, but it's kind of not, and I'll show you why. But how many calories do you really need? I saw something on TikTok the other day that kind of blew my mind, right? And I kind of used this over some time, but I kind of forgot about it. But I wanted to share that with you. In order to figure out how many calories you technically need in the day, we're going to do this, right? We're going to take our body weight. We're going to multiply that by 9, and that's going to give us the minimum amount of calories we're going to need to eat every single day. We're going to take that same body weight and multiply it by 11, and it's going to give us the maximum amount. Now, we want to stay between those two amounts. So for me, I'm 170 pounds. I multiply that by 9 and 7, and it gives me a minimum of 1,500 and a maximum of 1,800. So if I'm eating 2,000 calories a day, which is our recommended daily allowance, I'm actually going over this amount. Now, that could be the reason why I'm gaining weight, but, right, I need to find ways to stay within these two amounts right here. But with anything that we do, consistency matters, right? It's not going to happen fast. You're not going to do this within a week and shed 5 to 10 pounds. That's not going to happen. It takes time. Healthy weight loss is around 1 to 2 pounds per week. And if we do this for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 16 weeks, we're going to see our weight come off. We're going to see the fat come off, right? But is it very easy for you to go over that? Now, I want to have you take a look at, this is what I would consider a normal eating habit for the average person. If I go and I have breakfast, I'm going to eat 2 breakfast burritos, some fried potatoes, and I'm going to have a latte for breakfast. That's going to run me 1,000 calories. If for lunch, I'm going to have a foot-long sandwich, I'm going to have chips and a soda. That's going to run me right under 1,000 as well, 900. My snack, I'm going to have a protein bar because, you know, I think that's healthy. And, you know, protein bars are basically, you know, loaded with sugar too, so it really doesn't matter, right? It's protein candy. But I'm going to have a protein bar because I think that's healthy, and I'm going to have that for my snack. For dinner, because I'm busy, again, I'm going to get something convenient, something fast. So I'm going to get a Mexican pizza, 2 tacos, and a soda. Now, for the day, that doesn't seem like a lot of food because we're not really looking at it. We're not really thinking about that. But if we add up all the calories for that, I'm over 3,000 calories. If you're eating like this on a daily basis, it's no wonder you're having a hard time losing weight. So we have to figure out, what can I do within this cycle here, within this eating habit, that'll help me drop some calories. Now, I have 4 things that you can do. 4 easy things you can do that'll help you cut your calories. First thing is to eat clean. Now, I'm not saying eat, you know, foods that are washed or whatever that. For me, eating clean means eating very unprocessed, staying away from all the fast foods, right? And staying away from processed foods. I mean, we can't always stay away from that, but that would be the first thing. So like at the Boca box, if you sign up for our subscription, you're going to get breakfast, lunch, dinner. All of this food plus 2 snacks is going to run you just around 16 to 1700 calories. That fits within my caloric intake, right? So I'm having breakfast, lunch, dinner. The good thing about this is that it's very nutrient dense and not very calorie rich, versus this is very calorie rich and not a lot of nutrients that's good for our body. We don't want to eat a lot of calories. We want to eat a lot of nutrients. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to monitor our portions, right? That's a great thing about our subscription, is that I portion everything. I portion the amount of meat that goes in there to make sure you're getting adequate amount of protein. I portion the carbohydrates that go in. So depending if you're on a foundation plan or a keto plan, I monitor the carbohydrates to make sure that it fits within the diet technique that you're looking for. And we load it up with lots of vegetables, right? That's the great thing about what we do here. But we have to find ways to decrease or monitor our portion sizes. So if you're eating like this, right, and we want to decrease our portions, maybe I don't have the 2 tacos at the end of the night. Maybe instead of a foot long, I cut it down to a 6-inch. Maybe instead of 2 breakfast burritos, I get 1, right? And that's going to bring our calories down just a little bit. But that's a start, right? We always got to figure out where we're going to start and get used to that. Then we can start building and do more with our diets, right? The last thing we're going to talk about, or the third thing, is meal substitutions. Meal substitutions for me are things like I'm going to go on a shake diet for breakfast, or instead of eating this breakfast, I'm going to make me a shake, right? My go-to shake is a banana, peanut butter, spinach, ice, and almond milk, right? That's gonna, instead of 1,000 calories, that's only gonna run me maybe 250 to 300 calories. So that's a big deficit already. And if I do that consistently, that's gonna work for me, right? And I can still eat the rest of my meals here. I'm just focusing on decreasing the calories in my breakfast. The last thing I wanna talk about, which is something that I've been doing for quite a while now, and that I really like doing, is I'm fasting. Now, I really think it's a good thing for a lot of people to do, to try fasting, because for me, there's a lot of health benefits to it, but also it helps me to target a little bit more of my fat storages and making sure that I'm metabolically flexible so that I can burn fat and burn carbohydrates when I need it. But for me, I don't eat breakfast, and what that does for me is I take away my whole breakfast, right? So I'm eating lunch, snack, and dinner, and that decreases my caloric intake by 1,000. That's a lot by just fasting. Now, there's a whole bunch of other diet strategies that you could do that'll work for you, but we just got to figure out what is going to really work with your lifestyle. If you have any questions, come check me at the Boca Box. I'm always here to talk about diets and ways to help you live a healthier lifestyle. Back to you guys at KUAM.
Thanks, Jess. Well, coming up on the Hotspot, with February being Black History Month, we launch our 6-part series, Discover Black Heritage. Keep it here.
The wait is over, Guam. The all-new state-of-the-art car wash is now open at Cars Plus. Introducing Finish Line Express, open 7 days a week. The all-new cashless drive-through car wash is also the largest car wash on island that can accommodate vehicles such as lifted Jeeps and full-size pickup trucks. Just roll up, pick a wash, insert credit card, or show your EverWash app and roll through. Plus, power vacuums are available to clean the interior. Show your vehicle some love today at the all-new car wash at Cars Plus in Mighty. Open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week.
I can't make that amount work right now.
Mom, what is it? Can I get new basketball shoes?
We'll see.
Can I please have $20 for my field trip?
I don't know. Can I go to my friend's house after school?
Anak, hindi pwede.
We're all trying our best to make ends meet. The governor's childcare programs are helping businesses and working families care for Guam's kids. This ad is paid for with funds administered by the Department of Public Health and Social Services. Visit guamchildcare.com to apply today.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam on Demand.
And starting today, we're debuting Discover Black Heritage here on KUAM. We've joined NBC in showcasing special stories to commemorate Black History and Heritage Month. You're going to meet incredible people who make Guam their home as we share our cultures together in positive ways. Everyone you're about to meet has unmistakable love for Guam. They're a big part of what makes our island culture and our mutual family ideals we hold so dear that much more special and unique.
Jacob Dowdell is a mainstay within the Guam community. He's a leader and yet someone who gets hands-on setting up a table at a party. He's humble and quickly outspoken when it comes to helping people. Whether it's his work in sports, as a man of faith, in his numerous community service endeavors, mentoring, as an educator, or as someone who just enjoys kicking back and sharing a laugh with friends or total strangers, it's his mission to participate and contribute to the island he fell in love with.
It's a holiday spirit, right? It's one of those things that you're embraced in as soon as you get here. I was fortunate enough to get here during Liberation Day, and just walking down and people just invite me into the tents on Liberation Day, I immediately knew this was somewhere I wanted to be.
A native of Georgia, he came here by way of the Air Force, immediately connecting with island values that he saw running in parallel with his Southern roots and Black heritage.
And as we grew, and I formed the Talented 10th organization here on Guam, I wanted to maintain our sense of Afrocentric culture while embracing the people of Guam like they embraced me. And so today is one of those opportunities for us to celebrate who we are. And so I thought, what a better way to celebrate who we are in our first host height of the pandemic, Black History Month, than to celebrate who we are through our food, our
Talented 10th is a group he co-leads in reference to a leadership class of Black men. It's a lineage he's proud to be a part of.
Black history is the history of America. You know, no other people were brought to a place in the United States in chains, for the most part, not all, but no other people were brought there in chains and have made their way as far as the Black American experience has been. Is it perfect yet? No. But is it something to celebrate? Yes, absolutely. And why not celebrate it here on this beautiful island of Guam with our Chamorro brothers and sisters and everyone who's here.
He shared one of his proudest and tastiest moments the second he knew he truly became Guamanian, and now he's using his role to educate the local community about how we're all the same when it comes to what we love.
I knew I was Guamanian when my auntie, Miss Vina Titano, she called me the Balutan King, right? She called me the Balutan King, and at that point, everyone looked at me in unison and said, you are now officially Guamanian, right? We are all alike in that Guamanians and people down south where I'm from, a lot of our culture centers around food. And whether it's finadini or collard greens, you know, all those things, those cultural foods, they have significance to where you came from, your struggles, your heritage and things like that. And so I think it's just a perfect marriage of us being here on Guam, celebrating families.
Another universal language is athletics. Coach Dowdell has worked tirelessly as a player, high school coach, women's football commissioner, and someone giving youth opportunities to better themselves. Because being able to positively impact someone transcends background or race, it's the right thing to do as a member of society. And he's committed to helping youth from all walks of life, island-wide.
It is for the kids. It's never anything where we're going to just do it for kids from Deadedo or the outside kids and not Deadedo. It's all kids. At the end of the day, they're just young people who are seeking an opportunity to be great. It's our job as adults, whether black, white, Guamanian, whatever, to give all kids an opportunity. It's about me as a person, a human being, giving those behind me an opportunity.
And it's essential, he says, to impart wisdom and experience to a new generation so that they're as aware, as knowledgeable, as proud, and as willing to help. Because that's the privilege and responsibility he's been given. Much like our local traditions and our virtue of inafamalig, where we take care of our neighbors and make things better, the real value comes in keeping culture alive, sharing stories, and providing for one another.
We have a program where we have Ties That Bind, where we teach young boys from single-parent homes how to tie ties. And just announced, and we're going to be starting this on base, we have a great dance And that's really critical to build those relationships within the family that'll help us be stronger as a community.
So thanks, and Sidus Maasi, Coach, for what you've done and what you continue to do. Our island, all of us, is better because of your efforts and your presence. We'll look for you at the next Village Fiesta, and we'll save you a place in the Kelligman line.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month, plus a free router with your wireless subscription. That's hours of movies, games, social media, and more endless fun. Get your Wi-Fi starter pack today only at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Additional conditions may apply.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
And that's our show. Thanks for watching.